Misty and Frey, who apparently sounds like Timo, and I would like to welcome you back to our 6th episode of King's Raid Masterclass. Maybe I should talk like this from now on. Last week we discussed... I can't do it, sorry guys. Last week we discussed legendary gear as well as set options, and this week I would like to introduce you to unique weapons, unique treasures, and artifacts, as well as gear options. So let's get started. Let's talk about gear options. Each piece of gear in King's Raid will come with 4 statistics called options. You can see these 4 options by clicking on the piece of gear and viewing the section called Additional Options. Here's an example. There are 4 statistics or options listed under this item's additional options, which include attack, attack speed, crit damage, and M block. All of these 4 statistics came with this piece of gear and were allotted at random. This will be true for all gear unless you have a selector ticket. There can be any combination of options, and an option can appear more than once on an individual piece of gear. Here, you can see this piece of gear came with 3 lifesteal options. This group of 4 statistics is often referred to as either statistics, options, or even lines. There are 31 different gear options in King's Raid, and we're about to go over them now. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go!
Attack affects the damage dealt to enemies and the amount of heal and shield that allies receive. Attack speed will affect the frequency of normal attacks and skill casting time. Crit chance affects the chance to land critical hits on enemies. Crit damage will affect the damage of those critical hits. Crit resistance, on the other hand, will affect the chance to take those critical hits. Lifesteal will heal HP when dealing damage to enemies. Mana recovery per attack affects the amount of mana recovered from an auto attack. And mana recovery per second will affect the amount of mana, recovered per second. Defense will affect the damage taken from enemy attacks, and penetration affects the amount of damage dealt unreduced by the defense of enemies. Accuracy affects the chance to land attacks unhindered by the dodge of enemies, while the dodge will affect the chance to dodge enemy attacks. CC accuracy affects the chance to inflict crowd control unhindered by CC resist of enemies. CC resist will affect the chance to, resist crowd control. Max HP will affect the maximum amount of a hero's HP, and block will affect the chance to block enemy attacks.
There are also a few more statistics which you can find on unique treasures as well as runes and enchant options, but we'll discuss that another time. While some of these options are self-explanatory, it may take some time to get used to how these options interact with one another on the battlefield. But how do we determine if a piece of gear is suitable for our hero or not? Do you remember from the team building episode that each hero on a 4-hero team has a role? Most users will build their team using a DPS, a sub-DPS, a tank, and a support. I'd like to share the gear options that you'll commonly see used for each role on the team, though I want to reiterate that depending on the hero and which content you use that hero in, the gear options you'll want might change. First, MP recovery per attack and MP recovery per second are helpful for almost all heroes in King's Raid in any role, to ensure that heroes will have enough mana to use their skills in battle. For DPS and sub-DPS, users will tend to use gear options such as attack, crit damage, and sometimes some attack speed. Tanks, on the other hand, tend to be built to increase their survivability on the front line with statistics like max HP, block, either M block or P block, dodge, again M dodge or P dodge, or defense, and again either M defense or P defense. Lastly, supports, well, they can be a little bit more complicated. They are typically built in 2 ways. One is to build them kind of like a tank with CC resist or crit resistance, max HP, statistics like these in order to enable their survivability in battle. But there's also another way to build supports that I'd like to discuss now. So let's take a look at Frey. It's me. You can see I've built her with as many attack lines as I could. And this might sound counterintuitive to new users since supports are not designated DPSs. But to understand why I've done this, we have to understand how the statistic of attack works. In the game guide, it says attack affects not only the damage dealt to enemies, but also it can affect the amount of heal and shield that allies receive. So let's keep this in mind as we take a look at Frey's skills. Frey's second skill, Blessings of Light, grants her allies a shield that will absorb damage for 12 seconds. To increase the strength of the shield, I've equipped her with attack lines because, look, attack also affects the strength of the shield. Now that we have discussed how attack affects shields, I'd like to discuss how attack can affect heals. Most heals in the game can be affected by attack. For example, let's take a look at Refi. Refi actually has 3 healing capabilities. His first skill, Healing Soul, consists of 2 heals. The first part of his skill heals 10% of his allies' max HP. Refi's attack statistic will not affect this heal, as the amount of heal is reliant on the allies' max HP statistic. However, the second heal from this Healing Soul skill occurs over 8 seconds but is not reliant on the allies' max HP statistic. So in this case, Refi's attack statistic will positively affect the amount of heal. Refi's passive ability, his 4th skill, is called Spiritual Tuning and heals an ally with the lowest HP every 7 seconds. Because this heal is not reliant on his ally's max HP, attack will positively impact the amount of heal. So basically, the higher attack statistic a hero has, the more effective a heal will be. Now, most heals can also crit, and the crit damage given when landing a critical hit will also positively influence the rate of heal. However, it's important to note that, for example, in Refi's case, one of his heals is based on his ally's max HP, and that heal cannot crit or grant crit damage. However, his other 2 heals are not based on that max HP statistic and therefore can crit, and that crit damage will result in a more effective heal if he can land the critical hit. So to simplify things, a higher attack will result in a more effective heal, and these heals can also crit. And if a critical hit is landed, the crit damage dealt will also result in a more effective heal. There are some exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, this is the reason why you will see some users building their support heroes with lines like attack, crit, and crit damage. Whew, that was a lot of information, right? But before we continue, I'd like to give you one additional tip. If you remember last week's episode, equipping 2 items from a set or 4 items from a set will grant you what's called set options. You will sometimes see users using 2 items from one set and 2 items from another set in order to gain the benefits of the 2 set options from both sets. Mineraxis is outfitted with 2 items from the Frost Dragon Gear set to increase his max HP, and 2 items from the Black Dragon Gear set to ensure he still has suitable mana recovery to use his skills frequently in battle. Don't be afraid to change up your gear options as well as set options to see what works best for your hero in different content. Next, we will discuss a very important topic, which is unique gear. There are 3 types of unique gear: unique weapons, class unique weapons, and unique treasures. All unique gear is tier 10, and they can be equipped to a hero regardless of their level. Furthermore, unique weapons and unique treasures are exclusive to the hero they were designed for. So for example, if I have Frey's unique weapon and her unique treasures, they can only be equipped to Frey. First, let's discuss unique weapons, which have a fixed stat of attack and are equipable to slot 1. Each hero's unique weapon will grant it what's known as a unique option. In order to understand this unique option, let's just take a look at a few different heroes' unique weapons. Frey's unique weapon is called God's Authority Rosmerta. This weapon has a unique option where every 8 seconds she will heal 4 allies with the lowest HP by 96% of her own attack, while also increasing the crit chance and crit damage of the ally with the highest attack for 8 seconds. This is another reason why I wanted to build my Frey with more attack. The higher her attack, the more effective her healing will be. Next, this is Yan, and her unique weapon, Dragonbane Svelta, grants her the unique option of inflicting stun on dragons. Given this unique option, which content do you think Yan would be most suited for? Dragons. Are you starting to see why it's really important to not only read, but also understand your hero's skills, transcendence perks, and even their unique weapon? I really want to encourage you to imagine how gear options and transcendence perks and skills and unique weapons can all interact together in order to enhance your hero's performance on the battlefield. If you don't have a unique weapon for your hero yet, don't fret. The second type of unique gear is called class unique weapons, which will grant your hero 4% additional attack, max HP, and defense when equipping the weapon to slot 1. Like the name suggests, these class-unique weapons can only be used by heroes from that class. For example, only priests can use the priest class weapon, the Surtima, I don't know how to pronounce this, of heal. While these class-unique weapons are not as strong as a hero's personal unique weapon, they still might be a good option for you until you can acquire your hero's unique weapon. The third and final type of unique gear is called unique treasures, which can be equipped to slot 4 and have a fixed stat of max HP. Each hero also has a unique treasure for each of its 3 skills and its passive ability, which is also referred to as its 4th skill, for a total of 4 unique treasures per hero. All unique treasures will come with 2 random additional options, and just like unique weapons, they also have a unique option. You can equip all 4 unique treasures to your hero, but you'll have to choose one to equip to the main treasure slot. The treasure equipped to the main treasure slot will have both its unique option and additional options enabled. The remaining treasures can be equipped in the secondary treasure slots. The secondary treasures will only have their 2 additional options enabled in battle, but not their unique option. If you do not have a unique treasure for your hero yet, you can equip a refined mana stone, which also has a fixed stat of max HP and will grant you 2 additional options in battle. As an example, let's take a look at my Epis' unique treasures. I've equipped the Green Fairy unique treasure to the main slot, as I want the unique option for her first skill, Absorbing Blow, to be effective in battle. It will increase damage and increase her attack when killing an enemy. She has 3 other unique treasures equipped to the secondary treasure slot, but only their additional options will take effect. So how can I get unique gear? Well, you can obtain unique gear at random from special summons. You can also participate in the League of Victory and collect victory medals to exchange them for unique weapons at the League of Victory shop. Also, I highly recommend joining a guild. Not only will you get additional gold and experience from the guild buff, you can also participate in the guild wars. You can use your guild war medals to purchase random unique weapon tickets and random unique treasure tickets, as well as unique weapon tickets and unique treasure tickets. As the name suggests, random unique weapon or random unique treasure tickets will just grant you a unique weapon or a unique treasure at random. Unique weapon tickets and unique treasure tickets, on the other hand, will allow you to select the unique weapon or unique treasure of your choice. There also might be opportunities to obtain unique gear from participating in in-game events, so be sure to visit our official Plug Cafe to keep informed of current events. Lastly, let's talk about artifacts. Do you remember our trip to the Tower of Challenge where we met Dosarda? We learned that we could collect artifact pieces by clearing the Tower of Challenge and using those artifact pieces to restore an artifact at random. You can equip artifacts to slot 7 of any hero of any class, and these artifacts will give you an additional benefit in battle. There are a lot of different artifacts in the game, so I can't discuss them all, but I'd like to at least introduce you to a few. The first series of artifacts I'd like to discuss is the masks, which can be useful against certain types of bosses in the chapters. For example, the Mask of Harpy increases attack statistics by 40% against harpies and increases damage resistance against harpies, which might be helpful in Chapter 2. You can utilize these masks to help you progress through the chapters. Furthermore, when you participate in the world boss, you will receive a currency known as crystallized power. You can use this crystallized power to purchase what's known as world boss artifacts by visiting the shop at Orville Castle. Additionally, there are 3 Valkazar artifacts, which are called the Infernal Whip, the Infernal Bond, and the Infernal Great Sword. If you participate in Guild Conquest, you might be able to receive one of these Valkazar artifacts from the Guild Conquest boxes that you receive as a reward. Lastly, there are event artifacts, which you can usually obtain by participating in in-game events, and you'll get these artifacts as rewards. Some event artifacts include the Christmas Tree of Holy Night or the Pumpkinhead series. So how can we make use of these artifacts? Let's take a look. Soul Spring Water is an artifact that grants additional mana at the start of a battle. What would happen if I equipped this artifact to Epis? Epis' second skill, Nightmare, causes her to dive to the enemy's backline and deal damage. To make the utmost use of this skill, I could select her Nightmare Light Transcendence 3 perk, which reduces the cost of the skill to 1 mana point to activate. This Transcendence perk, coupled with the Soul Spring Water artifact, would enable my Epis to almost instantly bypass the enemy's defense and attack its weakest point, the support, at the start of a PvP battle. Let's take a look at another artifact. Xia has long cooldowns of 28 seconds. That's why she might benefit from an artifact like the Pocket Watch of Ancient Civilization, which reduces all cooldowns and increases attack speed. With reduced cooldown times, she can use her skills more often. These are just examples of how we can use artifacts to increase our hero's performance in battle. Let me know in the comments below which artifacts you like to use on which hero and in which content. In order to see all of the unique weapons, unique treasures, class unique weapons, and even artifacts and legendary gear in the game, please be sure to visit the index and click on Item Index. But before I go, it's time for the burning question. Last week, I asked my lovely raiders, if you had a pet slime, what would you name it? Let's give a round of applause to Gengar Hunter for winning episode 5's burning question. Gengar Hunter said, I would name my slime Poison because it was raised by the Poison Dragon. Very fitting. Kano said, I'd name it Pudding because pudding is delicious. And I wholeheartedly agree. It's making me hungry just thinking about it. Deinhardt said, I would name my slime Pillow because it could be a good pillow for me to rest my head on. Oh, that sounds really comfortable. Now, it's time for this week's burning question. If you had a unique treasure, what would it be and what unique option would it have? Be sure to leave your answer with your username, game ID, and server in the comment section below if you play on the America, Europe, or Asia server. I didn't even get to discuss runes or enchanting or awakening yet. That'll just have to wait until the next episode, which will be the Season 1 finale of King's Raid Masterclass. So be sure to join us next time as we wrap up our discussion of gear. Until next time, I will see you later, Raiders. Bye!